Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. God, I have a headache. I'm ready. Hey guys, my name's Connor. If you're new, the original link to the video, top of the description. Easy Watch Mojo UK video, top 10 classic British sitcoms. Maybe there'll be a few here I haven't heard about that I can actually watch full episodes of. Let's go.
Keep calm and carry on the comedy. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK,
Ollie.
and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 greatest classic British sitcoms. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe for more great content. For this list, we've gathered the finest, funniest, most iconic, and most important British sitcoms.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going down a calf. I'm going to get some grub and some better company.
Delb, pools, horses.
I'm going to put some clothes on.
As this is a countdown of the classics, to be in contention, the show must have started.
There's something about like the 80s, 90s quality of, sorry, the 70s, 80s quality of camera that's just soothing to me. I like it. I know it's less quality than what we have today, but it's just cozy. I was never in the 70s and 80s, all right? I was born in 93. But I have this strange nostalgia for a style of television I wasn't even around to see. So, it's comforting. It goes for movies as well.
As this is a countdown of the classics, to be in contention, the show must have started before the year 2000.
Father Ted.
For a look at celebrated recent sitcoms, be sure to check
Peep
out
Show.
our video
Do you
counting
want
down
it?
the greatest modern shows. And if cult comedy is more
Partridge?
your thing, then we've got you covered with another clip as well.
Needless to say, I had the last laugh. Now off.
Number 10, Are You Being Served?
Where do I know him? He's the host on Would I Lie to You? Oh my god, I'm so good.
Number 10, Are You Being Served?
Am I right?
Guten Morgen, mein gnädiges Bustenhalter. No.
Sorry.
We start stacked with sexual innuendo
Sorry.
for a double helping of double entendre. Throughout the 70s and early 80s, Are You Being Served had audiences bent double with its risque wordplay and comic misdirection. Taking place in the clothing section of a fictional department store, each half-hour episode offered an abundance of inside leg gags and not so well-veiled references to Mrs. Slocum's pet cat, which seemed to get itself in all manner of situations.
I don't think I've heard of this one.
You know, this sort of thing just isn't fair on my pussy. She has to go at the furniture if I'm not there prompt.
True, the nudge-nudge, wink-wink approach is out of sync with today's
Fanny?
society, and
That's I like saying fanny because it's such an innocent word for me, but I guess it's not for you guys. So like I don't get the weirdness, but you guys probably do.
the social stereotypes have dated, but Are You Being Served remains a favorite among fans and
Why
critics.
do I keep apologizing?
What does it say? Made in England, Mr. Gray.
So much so that a one-off reboot aired in 2016. Number 9, Bottom.
You've been drinking, haven't you?
How dare you!
I've seen first episode
Following
of this.
on from
I
early
gotta get
success
to it.
with the young ones, Bottom is the squalid, anarchic brain
I'm in season 4 of Peep Show on Patreon, and I have watched an episode of Bottom. I also have to have like 2 episodes left of Fawlty Towers that I have to do. Not the IT Crowd, though. I should watch that. I can't start another one. Yes, Minister.
child of Ade Edmondson and Rick Mayall. The pair wrote and starred in the series, which centers around Richie Richard and Eddie Hitler, dysfunctional flatmates living on the Dole in West London.
Shakespeare, the French Revolution, all that. I'm just too intelligent, that's my problem.
Mostly set inside their paltry and dangerously unsanitary city home, show storylines center on drinking heavily, fighting fiercely, and hatching unconventional plans to try and find someone willing to have sex with them. It's crude, often controversial, and the complete opposite to Clean Cut.
Do you want to fight or what?
Plus, the show's title is the most blatant bum gag going. What more could you want? Number 8, Steptoe and Son.
A warm chair and 2 empty brandy bottles adds up to one thing. You are a drunken, lazy old git. Down you go!
The earliest aired of today's entries, Steptoe and Son was a frontrunner for sitcom writers. As one of the first shows to cast actors over straight-up comedians, with Wilfred Bramble and Harry H. Corbett starring in title roles, it saw a generational clash between elderly Albert Steptoe and his middle-aged son, whose social aspirations are wildly out of tune with his father's.
You ignorant little sod.
Despite
Is that Michael Caine?
out of tune with his father's.
Looks just like him, doesn't it?
You ignorant little sod.
Despite ongoing rumors of on-set tensions, Steptoe was watched by 28 million at its peak, with moving storylines which offered up much more than the expected gag reel. In 1964, it was even rescheduled so as to not be broadcast on election night. Prime Minister Howard Wilson feared that the polls would be empty if Steptoe was on.
No. Let me do it. I haven't done anything yet.
Number 7, Yes Minister.
Do you mean rig it?
No. Well, yes.
This isn't a comedy, okay? It's just a documentary about politics, okay? There's nothing comedic about it, other than just... I love it, all right? Humphrey, Bernard.
Britain's institutions, its government perhaps most frequently falls within the comics firing line.
Every politician needs a Humphrey. He's too
Political
valuable.
satire is a staple of UK TV, and Yes Minister gets our vote as the finest parliamentary jaunt on the box. The series follows the rise and occasional
Jim
falls
Hacker.
of the Right Honourable Jim Hacker MP, a hapless incumbent of the fictional Department of Administrative Affairs.
Do you know what the civil service is saying about you? No? And that you're a pleasure to work with? That's what Barbara Woodhouse says about her prize-winning spaniels.
Hacker's hopeless attempts to
I hear Jim Hacker all the time, but I've never said it out loud, and me saying it just sounded weird because I pronounced the R because I'm American. Jim Hacker doesn't sound right. Hacker, Jim Hacker.
to get his policies noticed, contribute to what seems to be a floundering career in public office, until a surprising promotion lands him in the big seat for a 2-series sequel. Yes, Prime Minister ran from 86 to 88, as Hacker causes havoc from inside number 10.
If I could pull it off, it would be a feather in my cap.
If you pulled it off, Minister, it wouldn't be in your cap anymore.
Number 6, Dad's Army.
Your name will also go on the list. What is it?
Don't tell him, Pike.
Pike.
From the first line of its iconic theme tune to its many classic catchphrases, Dad's Army is etched into British pop culture. Written by Jimmy Perry and David Croft and set in the fictional town of Wallington-on-Sea, the show chronicles the comings and goings of a Home Guard platoon during World War II.
Gurgle, 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 gurgle. That's just the water gurgling against the side, sir.
A cast of classic characters includes Privates Pike, Godfrey, Walker and Fraser, as well as Sergeant Wilson and Lance Corporal Jones, who all do their best to give the enemy what for under the patriotic but imperfect leadership of Arthur Lowe's Captain Mainwaring. It's war, but not as we would normally know it.
I don't want to skulk in here. I want to get out there and get to grips with the enemy.
Aren't they rather high up, don't you think?
Number 5, Only Fools and Horses.
Bloody hell.
To the southeast London next, and a family business destined for the big time. Or so Del Boy believes it, at least. Only Fools sees David Jason's Del pair with little brother Rodney to make a questionable living on the streets of Peckham. The Trotters will try their hand at anything if it seems a money-maker, but their independent traders firm has yet to expand from out the back of the beat-up three-wheeler.
1, 2, 3.
Not so ably assisted by Grandad and Uncle.
I realized, I was skeptical about, big differences in British and American humor, because people say they're, Americans don't understand sarcasm or whatnot, which I disagree with. But from Dad's Army being, the more, the more fit and ready soldiers who are fighting obviously in Europe and whatnot, and so the home guard is going to be comprised of a lot, older and maybe less fit and stuff people, and it's kind of making fun of that while admiring it. And then it's here, or The Office, just the style of, I think the American style of like, haha, gotcha, is a comedy, can get a little old. Whereas this is just always fun, where it's like you're not the man, and you're funny because you're poking jokes at others and you're so cool. I'm not saying we don't have this, okay? Of course we do. But it was probably learned from you guys, or at least taken in some form. Exhibit A, The Office in the U.S., where you have the lackluster boss, Michael Scott. I love The Office U.S. I know a lot of British people think British one is better. But I think, The Office is a beloved show, and it wouldn't be here without the comedy of the original. So, just want to say that. It's a learning moment for me.
Albert in later series, their drive never wavers, but success almost never comes their way. Still, millions tuned in on a weekly basis, crossing their fingers that one day it would.
I don't want to laugh for the rest of my life.
Well, as long as you're happy, son.
Tuned in on a weekly basis, crossing their fingers that one day it would.
I don't want to laugh for the rest of my life.
Well, as long as you're happy, son.
Number 4, Father Ted.
Good. I hear you're a racist now, Father.
You're a racist, Father. I love saying that. Obviously, Blackadder is going to be coming up.
Between
what
comedy
else?
and the clergy may not be immediately obvious, but some of TV's funniest shows take place in and around the house of God. We might have listed The Vicar of Dibley here, a biblical triumph in its own right, but we've saved our sermon for Father Ted.
Oh, this is a great thing. Like, look at Friends, look at Seinfeld, right? Look at some of these other shows that, like, it's like, how do they afford this, That, like, the premise of Friends is, like, a bunch of people, a lot of them don't seem to have jobs, and they're living this idealistic life in New York City, and they have some funny moments, but it's British comedy is more real, I think. Does that make sense? I think the Friends comparison is a good one. Or Seinfeld.
Ted.
Like, it's less about their living situation and just the funny things around them, rather than the funniness of themselves. Am I going too far here?
What is it? Its own right, but we've saved our sermon for Father Ted.
Ted.
What is it?
I'm in tremendous pain, Ted.
Put it down then!
Oh.
God, Dougal! A predominantly Irish arrangement, it first aired on Channel 4 in 1995, before running for 3 series with a Christmas special to boot. Set on Craggy Island, the fictional place of exile for the 3 not-so-saintly priests, the sublime and ridiculous storylines see the titular Ted deal with daily life in the parish alongside Fathers Jack and Dougal. It's the answer to all your sitcom prayers.
I'm getting out of here. Don't you try and stop me.
Number 3, Porridge.
7:45.
Never heard.
Lights out. Any questions?
Any point?
None whatsoever.
As one half of the 2 Ronnies, Ronnie Barker was already a household name when he debuted as Norman Stanley Fletcher, but his stretch inside the HMP Slade remains one of the comic's most memorable roles.
Less you think about women, the better. God blimey, look at her.
Porridge was the result of another initiative, 7 of 1, which saw Barker
I always get 2 Ronnies and Only Fools and Horses mixed up. All the
star
time.
in 7 separate sitcom pilots, including an early version of Open All Hours. While finding a funny side to prison life proved difficult at first, writers Dick Clement and Ian Lafreniere soon realised that small victories were key. Essentially, Porridge is Fletcher beating the system over and over again, and audiences loved his anti-establishment ways.
Funny thing is, we know who really thought it first, don't we? Yeah, me.
Number 2, Fawlty Towers.
Yeah, what? Who's this then?
Start you!
With only 12 episodes
Blackadder's
ever
gotta be
made,
number 1.
Fawlty Towers is the shortest running of today's top 10. But size isn't everything. The hotel-based hilarity was created by John Cleese and Connie Booth, who were married at the time of the first series and both had starring roles. Cleese's Basil Fawlty is head hotelier, attempting to run a hospitable residence but consistently blowing his top whenever problems arise.
I mean, look, how could it be so difficult?
He's basically upset at any duty he has to do in a hotel.
To get a cheese salad. You want to run the place? No, I just want a cheese salad.
Then shut
I beg your pardon.
Booth plays Polly, a hotel assistant and voice of reason within the chaos.
Angel.
While Prunella Scale stars as Sybil, Basil's long-suffering wife, and Andrew Sachs is Manuel, a Spanish waiter forever lost in translation.
There is too much butter on those trays.
No, senor.
What?
Not on those trays.
Manuel.
No, sir.
Uno, dos.
From hotel inspections to hygiene restrictions, Basil's business is a shambles, but it makes for 5-star TV.
Guys, my last attempt, okay, to try and say the American British thing, okay? I think this is a good analogy. American comedy, a lot of the times, is like the main character walking in to a shop down the street, and the shop owner is like weird and dumb and crazy, right? And the main character is the smart one, like witnessing the dumbness, and like that's the comedy. Whereas British comedy, often it's reversed. It's like the normal shopkeeper and then the dumb or downtrodden main character walking in. It's not universal. I'm not saying it applies to everything, but I think that's a good comparison.
Before we unveil our top pick, here's a few honourable mentions.
What do you mean late kickoff? What it says here, late kickoff. They can't do this to me. 7 draws and a late kickoff. It's enough to send anybody round the twist.
4291.
Oh, pup.
Oh, Renee, we must not upset them.
Well, we must not let the
That's another show I've watched like 2 episodes.
villagers think we are being too friendly, or they may stop coming.
But of course I shall sing for them. It is only expected.
Allo Allo, if I'm correct, I hope I am, because I've watched like 2 episodes. It's the French resistance having to like go under the radar and helping the French resistance while not being found out by the Germans. I'm pretty sure that's the premise.
Well, that should convince the village that we have at least got some fight left.
Number 1, Blackadder.
He may reward us. No, wait. I think I have an idea.
A sitcom spanning almost 500 years of history, Blackadder takes today's crown. From the Middle Ages to Elizabethan England, the Regency period, and World War I, not to mention a lengthy series of specials, one-off clips, and standalone sketches, no era is safe from Edmund Blackadder and his band of the merriest of men.
Can we shake on it?
You have a woman's hand, my lord.
Rowan Atkinson's...
I would love an American version of Blackadder, okay? Where it goes through different times in American history, like the Revolutionary period, or like the Era of Good Feelings, or the antebellum things, or like the early 20s. Obviously, we have less canvas to work with because our history isn't as nearly as long, but I think that'd be a great thing. Blackadder US.
Anti-hero raised the bar for sitcoms throughout the 80s, consistently bucking the trend with his delightful deadpan delivery.
And they can have a World War I episode where they go to England and they meet Rowan Atkinson as
with
Blackadder.
as much talent for disguise as a giraffe in dark glasses trying to get into a polar bears only golf club.
But as with most great comic characters, he has a human side too, and despite all the gags usually at the expense of Baldrick, the finale to Goes Forth remains one of the most moving moments in British TV history. Blackadder, we salute you.
Good luck, everyone.
Insane ending.
Do you agree with our...
No. Yeah, they were great. There are a few there I didn't know of. Porridge. One Foot in the Grave. Steptoe and Son. Are You Being Served? I gotta check those out. Love you all. Hope you guys are all doing well. Would appreciate any comments down below. Do you agree? Disagree? What's your favorite? See you guys next time. Bye.